Hi everyone. I just want to take a couple minutes to go over how to work with and manipulate and export a .rmd file. Since you're going to be doing this quite a lot in class and we didn't really get a chance to go over this week, I want to give you an opportunity to take a look at the RMD files, play around with them this weekend so that when you come to class on Monday, you'll be a little more comfortable with them. So here you can see my RStudio instance, and I've got all the files here on the bottom panel. So let's open up the introductory assignment by clicking on that. And see, okay, we have Biomath 218, subtitle introductory assignment. So I'm going to put my name, Dr. Lundquist. And the rest of this you can ignore. We're going to go line by line what's in this RMD file and what we can do with it. So here you can see is a little introductory sentence. This short introductory assignment is meant to give you an opportunity to play around in RStudio and practice working with .rmd files. So there are a bunch of exercises. I want you to make sure to do these exercises in order. And so the first thing you're going to do is create a code block. So here we have our code block. You know it's a code block because of these accent marks. So these are, it's the tilde button on your keyboard, but it's the tilde without hitting shift. So 1, 2, 3. And we want to make sure to close the code chunk with another set of accent marks. Here we want to tell it what our programming language is, and it's just the letter R, lowercase r. And then we can give it a name. Here I named it example block. And in it I have 2 bits of data. One is a variable called x that equals 1. We use these arrows, which are simply the less than sign and a minus sign. And this denotes that this x variable, or this variable named x, is equivalent to the number 1. We could write equal and have it mean the same thing, but it's really a much better practice just to use the arrow. I have another variable y, which I've also assigned to the number 1. And then I want to do a simple mathematical function. Here it's just addition, so I want to see what x plus y is, and I use the function print to print out the results. And so if I go over here to the little green play button, click on that, you can see below I have the results. Below that chunk I have the results. And also in the R console I have the results. So 1 plus 1, or x plus y equals 2. And so what I want you to do in this assignment is to write a brand new code block that outputs the answer of 18 minus 5. Feel free to copy and paste code chunks. You can do this anytime you want throughout the class, but make sure that you change the name. Either remove the name completely of the code chunk, or you can just put a new one. So after that first code block, I've got 2 more exercises. I have an exercise for you to download data. I want you to write a code block to download the CO2 data from R. You can look at the example from today, from our first week, under Lessons, Introduction and Data to RMD. And if we scroll down, I have an example code chunk on how to import data. In this case, it's importing the iris data. You can actually take this code chunk, copy it, and paste it into the introductory assignment, and then edit it so that instead of importing iris, you're importing the CO2 data. The third assignment is for you to attempt to output, or to attempt to export this .rmd file. And unfortunately, when you try to export it, and how we export it is really simple. We go and press this button here that's named knit, and it actually has a little icon of a knitting needle and a ball of string. We click on that, and it goes to try to knit, and we can see execution halted. That means something went wrong. And of course, this error doesn't show up in the console. It actually shows up in the render tab. And so we can take a look at this error, and we can read into it, say, okay, what's wrong here? And so, for example, I say, oh, duplicate code chunk label. Remember how I said you need to make sure to have a unique label for every code chunk? Well, here I used example code block twice. So I got to change that. So that's one error that you absolutely need to fix. But there's more than one error in this particular assignment. So take some time, work through it. Once you have that, you'll be able to knit it, and it will provide you a full HTML file. Now, how do we do this? So instead of correcting this and show you how to correct it, I'm going to actually delete this code block, and then I'm going to knit it and show you how a knitted document should look and how you're going to submit it on Brightspace. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to delete it for now. Of course, I'm going to want to put that back in if I want to actually do the assignment. So I'm going to go up and hit knit. And if you notice, a pop-up window popped up, and here is your finished report. And you can see here's my name, Dr. Lundquist, here's the assignment name, and if we go through, we can see here are all the code chunks as well as the outputs. And if there's any answers, let's say for a portfolio, that will also show up, anything that I've written. What's really cool about this is that it's an HTML file, so this can actually be served. This can actually be put online, and it also has this really cool little thing that if you don't want to look at it using a dark mode, you can actually switch it to light mode. So there's a few things we can do with this. We can open it in browser, which is this button here, and so this will open it here. For me, in Chrome, it looks exactly the same as it did in RStudio, so I didn't really need to do that. Another thing you can do is you can save it. So if we go back to our RStudio server, you can see that introductory assignment was produced as an HTML down here. And so now it is actually saved in your server. But how do you get it off? So what you want to do is you want to click on introductory assignment at HTML. You want to make sure you click this check mark. Go over to this cog that says More, and then you want to click Export. Here, export as introductory _ assignment HTML. What you could do is you could add your last name, if you would like, and then click Download. So then ask you where you want to download. You can download it directly onto your computer. Here I'm going to download onto my desktop. But you can download it into an external hard drive, a USB drive, whatever you want. And then you can take that file and then you can drag and drop it into the Dropbox on Brightspace, and you're all set to go.